Well, it's certainly nice to see Australia's keeping their traditions alive, mainly of police abusing their own people, being authoritative dickheads, and just practically begging people to get back their guns so they can go fully Ned Kelly on them. And for the record, whenever I hear someone bitching about Ned Kelly and talking about how he was a terrorist and a cop killer, I'm okay with that. Because the cops he killed, I'm pretty sure deserved it. Just like the cops in Australia right now, if they got shot, they deserve it. And I know you're thinking that's a big extreme, and you probably are like, what the fuck are you talking about, Nathan? For some context, I already done a recording for this, but then I thought I was too angry and insulting to Australians about it, so I didn't do it. But then I saw a video by Jeremy from the court, and I saw a video he did also from a few days ago from some cops who fucking pepper sprayed a 12-year-old. And I thought, you know what? Fuck sensibilities. Fuck being nice to the Aussies. I'm venting on this one. And for the record, if I ever see Butterfield or some old fuck from Australia say again how complain about the First Amendment or the Second Amendment, I tend to get those two confused because to me they require each other to survive. But if I ever hear them complain about how we have gun rights and Butterfield, I think, was kind of joking when he said this about how we like child murder because we have the right to bear arms. Yeah, not so funny now, is it? Fucktards. Like, I think Butterfield was joking, but to the old people who are joking and acting like us Americans are idiots because we have guns, fuck you. We were right, and you proved our point. So yeah, I bet you regret that fucking buyback now, don't you? I mean, really, I almost feel sorry for the Australians, but at the same time, I don't. You literally gave the government up your guns. You might as well have given them an open invitation to walk in and bitch slap you and have their way with your wife while they force you to watch. You might as well have told them they could do that while they were at it. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, there was this incident in the land down under where they decided to kill a bunch of rescue dogs to prevent the spread of COVID, despite the fact there was no indication that they were going to cause a spread of it. Oh, they also used the Aboriginal people as their excuse for why they did. So again, Aussies, fuck your government and fuck your police. And anyone who defends your cops, they can go fuck themselves as well. Because your cops have shown where their loyalty is. It's to the paycheck and to the uncle and whatever your version of Uncle Sam is. So, yeah. Here's an article about Australian town kills shelter pound dogs over beer bug concerns. And again, fuck the authorities of Australia. Anyway, a local government in rural Australia shot dogs that were set to go to an animal shelter in another town over concerns that the shelter's employees could spread the coronavirus by traveling to pick up the animals. The Berkshire Council, a local government in the remote northwestern part of the state of New South Wales, killed the dogs to protect its employees and community, including vulnerable Aboriginal populations, from coronavirus, according to a statement from the New South Wales Office of Local Government, which oversees the council and other local governments. There were concerns about the risk of the Kung flu transmission if personnel from the animal rehoming organization in Cobar, about 125 miles south of Berkshire, had to travel to pick up the dog. The office said it is examining the circumstances surrounding the incident. So they're observing the situation, including whether the killing may have violated animal and prevention of cruelty laws. The Berkshire Council did not respond to a request for comment. Of course they didn't. They're fucking cowards. Like camp dogs are often rehomed from Australia's remote indigenous communities to more populous ones, but with the resurgence of the Kung flu in Australia. So I keep saying interactions between rural and urban communities come with heightened fears about potential spreading the virus. Those fears are especially clear in indigenous communities, the Native Americans basically of Australia, or in some way, whose populations have higher levels of chronic health issues and where medical resources are more sparse than in urban centers. Councils, councils were told in guidance this month from the state government that per a 1998 law governing pets, before destroying a seized or surrendered animal, they must consider whether there is an alternative action. New South Wales is under lockdown until the end of August, but workers and animal welfare care and accommodation services are authorized to keep working. The Sydney Morning Herald reported that one of the dogs killed recently gave birth and that the volunteers from the shelter were distressed by the killing. More than 4,800 Kung flu victim cases have been reported in New South Wales in the past week, according to state data, as parts of Australia endure restrictions amid the outbreak fueled by Delta variants. Still, Bourke, where the dogs were killed, has recorded a total of 7 coronavirus cases, while Cobar, where the shelter employees were located, has recorded only 1 case, according to the government data, which I trust is about as much as a teenager's condom that they keep in their wallet. The New South Wales office said that the local governments were encouraged to continue to work with the rehoming organization and volunteers to care for animals when possible while following beer bug protocols. And that is the article by Washington Post, and I'm still, just no. Like, to the local council who did this, fuck you. I hope you go to hell. Like, I hope when you get to hell, Satan is there personally to torture you. And it's a shame John Wick isn't a real person, because I would love to send him to Australia right about now. Like, I would like to get him and to resurrect Ned Kelly and have them go on a bonding murder spree. Actually, I would just like to see Ned Kelly go to town on the cops there, because they are assholes. Like, I've seen them harassing people, arresting people violently if they're not wearing masks or they're protesting the lockdowns. It's a fucked up place. And and I don't hate Australian people there. I don't even hate Butterfield. Like, I watch him sometimes and I think he's an awesome guy to watch, but yeah, aside from him and Shadiversity and Sydney Watson, there's not a lot of Aussies I watch that regularly. But sometimes I feel sorry for them. You are stuck in a country where your government is fucking you over, probably. And if you're looking at us and thinking we're the crazy ones, at least when we protest, we have the fallback plan of telling the government to F off if they don't like what we say. You can't do jack squat to your government. You can complain, but they can abuse you now. And you have no one to blame but yourselves, and they are using the tired old argument of the greater good for why they're doing the things they do. So, yeah, you really have no one but yourselves to blame. And this isn't me condemning the Australian people. I don't blame them. I mean, you fell for one of the oldest tricks in the book. I mean, what happened to y'all with that mass shooting that caused you to do the buyback? That's happened to us hundreds of times. Well, maybe not hundreds, but a lot. And some of us weren't dumb enough to go along with it, despite the virtue signaling done by some of the assholes here. And yeah, if anyone ever gives me the old complaint, well, why do you need a gun at all when you have the police? Look at Australia. Their cops are literally pieces of shit who abuse people. Hell, they've been doing it since the 1800s. So, yeah. If there was ever a good case for why we need the Second Amendment, the story of Ned Kelly is probably my favorite example. There's that and the Ruth Koreans. Both of which Count Dankula has done videos on, and I encourage you to go watch. They're actually pretty entertaining. And that's the video. I feel better now. Really better. But yeah, to quote an old rap song, fuck the police. Especially if they're the Australian police. And again, I say this to anyone who bitches about Ned Kelly being a murderer. Some of the cops he killed probably had it coming, because the cops back then were pretty corrupt. Like, I know I brought Ned Kelly up a couple times in this video, but yeah, it really bears repeating. The people who I find are his detractors usually turn out to be some of the biggest bootlickers I've seen. Or pigs. And the Kennedy family, y'all can go screw yourselves. Like, y'all I do want to offend. Like, seriously, fuck you, fuck Leo Kennedy, fuck Ted Kennedy, if there's one named Ted in y'all. I can never remember if it's Ted or Leo Kennedy, but fuck him also for being a sanctimonious cunt. Anyway, sorry. That's the video. And yeah, never trust your government with your guns or to protect you, because they will abuse it at all if they get the chance. Like the first taste of power they get, it's not enough. It's a high. They want more. And this is something I have learned from looking at instances where cops abused authority here in my country. Is some of them seem to get off on it. And I think the Australians, they are getting off on it so hard they might need some Viagra to keep on going. Anyway, that's the video, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Goodbye. And remember, the game was rigged from the start.